Hello everyone, hope you're doing well and welcome to another video of HTML and CSS complete course. So in this video we're going to create this responsive drop down navigation bar using HTML and CSS. We are not going to add any JavaScript here because so we are going to just use the topics that we have learned in HTML and CSS course in this complete course. So in fact it's not complete yet, but we are going to work on this to complete this course. So in this video we are going to work on this drop down responsive navigation bar. Before jumping over to the main point, if you didn't subscribe my YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon so you'll get the notification of my new video when I upload them. Alright, so let's get started. So as you can see, this is our HTML page and this is the empty CSS that we are going to work on them right now. First we are going to create the not here, inside the body we are going to create the navigation element, and inside the navigation element we are going to create a div element. These are the topics that we have already studied in this. These are the topics that we have already talked about in this tutorial. So after ID we are going to create a class and the class name will be toggle, and inside this div element what I'm going to do, so here I'm going to add the menu, and let's add another. In fact, let's change this to drop, and this one will be the logo and ID. Okay, and now let's size it, and here we're going to add our logo. So our logo will be with Rohani, my YouTube channel name. So after this what I'm going to remove this from now, and I'm going to add this in a label. So therefore will be drop, and the class is toggle, and this is the menu. And after this we're going to add an input, and the text will be checkbox, and instead of value attribute and name attribute I'm going to use the ID attribute. Alright, so after this I'm going to create the UL element. So for UL I'm going to add a class name menu, and inside the UL I have a li, and inside li I have a element, and between the opening and closing a element I'm going to add the menu. And after this I'm going to create another li, and inside these li I'm going to use another label with a label input and a link. This one will be the drop down menu. So here I'm going to add a comment. So this one will be first drop down menu. So here I'm going to, so let's create a label. So let's add the for will be drop -1, and after this I'm going to add the class as well. Class name will be toggle and press. So here we go. Now after this I'm going to create a element, and let's add WordPress here, and after this let's create an input. So the text will be the checkbox, and let's remove the name and value attribute, and inside of these attributes I'm going to use the ID attribute. So ID will be drop-1. And after this, I'm going to create another UL, and inside UL I have LI. So this one will be the inside the drop down menu. So when we hover, as you can see, let me jump over. So as you can see, this is a drop down menu. When I hover the cursor, these menus are pop-ups. So we're going to work on this section for now. And inside the A element, we're going to create the inside the LI element, I'm going to create the A element, and themes and stuff. So I'm going to copy paste this for saving time. And the second one will be the plugins and tutorials. So after this UL and LI, I'm going to create another LI. So this one will be the first of the second drop down menu. First of the second menu. Here you can see our second drop down menu has another drop down menu inside. So this is the second drop down menu, and inside the second drop down menu we have another drop down menu. So what I'm going to create now, I'm going to work on the first one on this web design section. So inside this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another label. So the label will be for drop-2, and let's create class. Class will be toggle, and here we go to say web design. So after this, I'm going to create a element, and after this I'm going to create an input. So this one will be checkbox again, and let's remove these two, and let's add ID attribute drop-2. So now inside these, so now we are going to create a UL, and inside UL we have LI, and inside LI we have A. So this one will be resources, and let's copy this from here and paste. So instead of resources we have links. So now inside this UL, I'm going to create this second section, this second drop down menu. So inside this UL, I'm going to create this. So inside this UL, I am going to create another LI, and inside this LI, I'm going to add this the second of the second drop menu. Hope you can understand this. So now again I'm going to create, instead of creating this step by step, I'm going to copy this from here and paste it here, and instead of drop down 2 I'm going to use 3, and the toggle is the same, and instead of this web I'm going to write tutorials, add a plus sign here, and again let's add the tutorials here, and this one will be 3 as well. So hope you understand to this. Hope you understand to this point. And after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another UL, this sections. So this, as you can see, graphic design, inspiration, contact, and about us. So I'm going to create these sections now. Before creating this, I'm going to create this HTML, CSS, jQuery, and other stuffs. So for this, I'm going to create another UL and LI. So this one will be HTML and CSS. Let's copy this. So the second one is jQuery, and the last one is other. So after the UL and LI closing tag, I'm going to create another U. Let me, where did this opens? Here we go. And where does this one open? So let's remove this from here, and let's add this one right here. Here we go. So after this, I'm going to create another. So here I'm going to create another LI, and let's add A, and this one will be graphic design, and let's copy this. And let's paste it to 4. So our HTML section is done. At the end, I'm going to add two paragraphs with some text, and this one is so this is a little bit information for someone who use this course. So I'm going to put the link at the description, so you can use this code for your website, for your web page, for whatever you use this, or you can also use this for practice. So if you don't know what I have done here, you can watch our HTML and CSS course. The link is in the description. And now our HTML section is done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just refresh this page, and this is our HTML section without CSS. So now we are going to jump over to the CSS section and try to complete our CSS section as well. So now let's jump over to the CSS. So first I'm going to target the body element, and let's add a background. I'm going to use this background, and let's use the font size. The font size will be 22 pixel. Line height, I'm going to use this one will be 32 pixel, and let's use the color. The text, this one, the color will be the text color. and let's add margin 0 and padding 0. It will remove this default margin and padding. You can see right here this default margin. And now what we are going to do, I'm going to add the font family. So the font family will be or you can use the default font family if you want. So now I'm going to target the A element. So I'm going to just add the color for the text, and after this I'm going to target the P element. So let's text align, use the text align property to be center. So after doing this, let's target the toggle class, and if you don't understand this section, no problem, because we didn't learn about this in our tutorial. You can just copy paste this. We will learn about this in our future tutorial. So display none. For first time, it will remove all these drop down menus. And now let's add remove some margin padding from our navigation bar and add the background color. Now remove the default margin, will be 0, and padding will be 0 as well. And let's add the background color. So the background color will be this type color. And now let's target the logo ID. Alright, so now let's target the logo element, logo ID. So first we are going to add the display block here, and after this we are going to add the padding 0 by 30 pixel, and let's add float left. Let's add float left, and font size will be 20 pixel. So these are all the attributes and topics that we have learned in our previous videos. So if you still didn't understand any one of them, please leave the comment below and tell me what attribute or what section of this video is new for you. So now, as I'm going to use the float left for UL, I'm going to clear the after our container, which is the navigation bar. So let's use the after procedure class, and let's add content. Let's clear the after our container, which is the navigation bar, and let's use the display table, and let's clear both attribute. This is also another attribute. And now we are going to use the target the navigation bar. Inside the navigation bar we are going to target the UL element. So let's add the float right, and padding, let's remove the default padding and margin, and let's add list style will be none, so we are going to remove the style, and position will be a relative. So first let's save this, and now let's jump over to the web page and let's refresh this. So as you can see, this is our web page. It looks like this for now, and we need to do a lot of more stuff to make this responsive and looks nice. So for this, let's jump over again to the CSS and let's add. So let's target the navigation, nav, UL, and li. So let's add margin 0 pixel, and display will be inline block, and let's float left, and let's add the background color. So this is the background color for this color. Alright, so after this we are going to target the all A elements which are inside the navigation bar. So we are going to display them block, and display excuse me, the padding 40 pixel by 20 pixel, and let's add the color will be white, and font size will be 40 pixel, and let's remove this text decoration, that underline you can see. So text decoration will be none. Now let's save this and let's refresh the page, and here you can see this is the padding. We have added padding, change the font size, and remove this underline by using the text decoration none. So after this we are going to target the navigation bar. Inside navigation bar we have UL, LI, another UL, and LI. So when we hover the cursor to them, what will happen? The background color should be changed to the black color. There we go. So now let's save this, and for now when we hover nothing happens. So when we refresh the page, and here you can see when you hover the cursor, the background color changes to the black color. And now let's add some more things here. So inside the navigation bar we are going to target all A elements. When we hover, the background color of these will be changed as well. Let's save this. Now again let's refresh the page. As you can see, target nav again UL and UL, so it will display none. So we are going to hide all that drop down menus for now, and position will be absolute, and top margin will be 60 pixel. Let's save this. Let's check whether it works or not. As you can see, all the drop down menus are hidden for now, and we are going to target the navigation UL and LI. When we hover, it will select the first child of UL. It will be display inherit, and now let's add the width and the height for UL and LI, and let's add the width. Not warning, width will be 170 pixel. Float will be none. Display list item and position will be relative. Nav UL again, and LI. And here we're going to add the position relative, and the top will be minus 60 pixel. So by using the minus 60 pixel to the top, it will be go to the top side, to the top, and let's lift one will be 170 pixel. Now let's save this and let's refresh Alright, so as you can see, when we hover the cursor, it comes down right here, as you can see. For now, we need to add this plus sign, and we need to make this a little bit awesome, and we're going to target the li, all li, and the child of li, which is a, and select the after procedure class, and inside this we're going to create all after and add this plus sign, and we are going to target li again, and the child of li, and only child after. Content, clear the content. So that's it. Let's save this and let's refresh. So that's it. As you can see, we have added these plus signs here and here. So now we need to make this responsive so that it will work for the small devices. As you can see, its screen smaller, it looks not good, so we need to make this to looks, we need to add some, so we need to make this to work in a small devices as well. So for changing an element to be responsive, we need to use the media query. So media query is used for change an element to responsive, so that it will adjust itself, adjust the element to the small devices as well. And all, and inside this we're going to use a max width. The max width will be 168 pixel, and inside this we're going to first target the logo, and inside the logo we're going to say display block, and the padding will be 0 pixel, width will be 100%, and text align will be center, float will be none. So after this we're going to use the container, which is navigation bar, and let's remove the default margin. And after this we're going to target the toggle and add the plus a and dot menu. So this one will be display none as well. And now let's target the toggle class again, and display block. Background color will be this type color, and let's add some padding, 40 pixel by 20 pixel, and color will be white color. Font size is going to be 70 pixel, and let's remove the text decoration to none, and let's remove the border none. Alright, so that's it. So now we are going to work on the hover, so that when we hover to the toggle class element, toggle hover, and here we're going to add the background color. So the background color will be black, and after this we're going to use ID, if you don't understand what is the use of this, so You can just copy paste it because we didn't learn about this yet. So let's display block. Now let's target the UL and LI. Let's add display block, and width will be 100%. And let's target the navigation bar. Nav ul dot toggle, comma, let's nav ul a. So here we're going to remove the top padding and add 40 pixels. Nav u. So here we're going to add the padding again, 0/80 pixels. So after this one, we are going to add some over effect again. So nav a element hover, when we hover the cursor to the a element, and nav ul and a. The background color will be black. And after this, let's scroll down this. Let's target u nav ul li. After this, I target the toggle class, and let's add comma, and let's jump over to the next line, navigation bar ul and a. Let's jump over to the next line again, ul and a. Now let's add the padding, 14 pixel by 20 pixel, and let's add the color, the text color, this one, and the font size will be 70 pixels. And now let's target again the toggle class. So navigation bar ul and li. Let's target the toggle class. Again ul. So these are all the stuff, these are all the things that we have learned in our HTML and CSS course at this moment. Here we go. Hope you understand at this moment, and if you don't, please leave a comment below and tell me which part of this code you didn't understand. So here we're going to add some more things to equal height drop down by default. So let's add and let's float this none, and position will be static, and let's add a color. So this one will be to hide menu on hover. So now let's target the navigation bar ul li and hover, and let's select the first tile ul and Now li over explainer. So this one will be for the first drop down. And now let's target this again. So we are almost done. Just few more line of code are remaining. And let's position this static. We just need to add some more. Let's add again a media query, all, and we're going to adjust this max width. So this one will be for 320 pixel. Alright, now ULLI, and this use the display block, and width will be 94%. So that's it, everything is done. Now let's save this and let's refresh the page. So as you can see, everything is good to go. You can see the drop down menu. Now when we resize the page, as you can see, this is the menu. When we resize the page, it will looks like this. When we click on this, there we go. As you can see, our responsive section is done again as well. Here you go. So that's it, guys. Hope you understand. If you have any question, any suggestion, please leave the comment below. If you didn't understand, please ask me any question, any parts of the code you didn't understand. And thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.